Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today we are reading from Dorothy Parker Complete Poems. This reading was Arlene Middleman's idea. Arlene is unable to be with us. I am happy that Helen Richman is back with us today. I want to welcome Susan Nathe for coming on the show for the first time. I'm happy you're here. And I'm always glad when Corinne and Kay return to the Poetry Hour. Dorothy Parker, 1893-1967, wrote light verse epigrams. Quote, light verse, Marion Mead explains, quote, refers to short, playful poetry that aims to make a point, sometimes major insights, by using literary wordplay, including puns and alliteration. Basically, light verse presented a handful of irreverent lines with a jaunty climax, end of quote. She also wrote criticism, screenplays, fiction, song lyrics, serious poetry. This is from the chronology in the book. She, Dorothy Parker, was a member of the famed Algonquin Round Table, a literary group in New York City. In 1937, she and her husband, Alan Campbell, and another person wrote the Oscar-nominated screenplay for A Star is Born. She bequeathed her estate to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., later passed on to the NAACP. In 1992, the United States Postal Service issued a commemorative Dorothy Parker stamp. This is from Marion Mead's introduction. In 1915, Vanity Fair published a poem, Any Porch, by Dorothy Parker. She got paid $12. Quote, on that day, her life changed in a blink, wrote Mead. Any Porch consisted of 9 stanzas called from conversations overheard on a hotel resort veranda, end of quote. Corinne will start the reading with that one. Quote, after contributing Cassandra Drops into Verse for its, The New Yorker, second issue in 1925, she kept writing for the magazine, a total of 50 poems over 2 decades. In 1926, Marion Mead continues, her life changed dramatically with the publication of her first collection of poems, Enough Rope, which became a phenomenal bestseller and brought her national fame, end of quote. She had 4 poetry collections published during her lifetime. She has been called the wittiest of the wits. Her poetry is entertaining, enlightening, poignant, and always of the human heart. The magnificent readers in order of appearance are Corinne Conley, Helen Richman, Kay Weissman, Susan Nathe. Here's Corinne Conley.
I will start with Any Porch, just as Dorothy Parker did. I'm reading that new thing of Locke's. So whimsical, isn't he? Yes. My dear, have you seen those new smocks? They're nightgowns, no more and no less. I don't call Mrs. Brown bad. She's unmoral, dear, not immoral. Well, really, it makes me so mad to think what I paid for that coral. My husband says often, Elise, you feel things too deeply. You do. Yes, 40 a month, if you please. Oh, servants impose on me, too. I don't want the vote for myself, but women with property, dear. I think the poor girl's on the shelf. She's talking about her career. This war's such a frightful affair. I know for a fact that in France, I love Mrs. Castle's bobbed hair. They say he taught her to dance. I've heard I was psychic before. To think that you saw it. How funny. Why, he must be 60 or more. I told you she'd marry for money. I really look thinner, you say? I've lost all my hips. Oh, you're sweet. Imagine the city today. Humidity's much worse than the heat. You never could guess from my face the bundle of nerves that I am. If you had let off with your ace, they'd never have gotten that slam. So she's got the children? That's true. The fault was most certainly his. You know the Podesters? You do? My dear, what a small world this is. A very short song. Once when I was young and true, someone left me sad, broke my brittle heart in two, and that is very bad. Love is for unlucky folk. Love is but a curse. Once there was a heart I broke, and that, I think, is worse. Light of love. Joy stayed with me a night, young and free and fair, and in the morning light he left me there. Then sorrow came to stay and lay upon my breast. He walked with me in the day and knew me best. I'll never be a bride nor yet celibate, so I'm living now in pride, a cold bedmate. He must not hear nor see, nor could he forgive that sorrow visits me each day I live. Somebody's song. This is what I vow. He shall have my heart to keep. Sweetly will we stir and sleep all the years as now. Swift the measured sands may run. Love like this is never done. He and I are welded one. This is what I vow. This is what I pray. Keep him by me tenderly. Keep him sweet in pride of me, ever and a day. Keep me from the old distress. Let me, for our happiness, be the one to love the less. This is what I pray. This is what I know. Lovers' oaths are thin as rain. Love's a harbinger of pain. Would it were not so. Ever is my heart athirst. Ever is my love accursed. He is neither last nor first. This is what I know. Paths. I shall tread another year, ways I walked with grief, past the dry ungarnered year and the brittle leaf. I shall stand a year apart, wondering and shy, thinking, here she broke her heart, here she pled to die. I shall hear the pheasants call and the raucous geese. Down these ways another fall, I shall walk with peace. But the pretty path I trod, hand in hand with love, underfoot the nascent sod, brave young boughs above, and the stripes of ribbon grass by the curling way, I shall never dare to pass to my dying day. Love song. My own dear love, he is strong and bold, and he cares not what comes after. His words ring sweet as a chime of gold, and his eyes are lit with laughter. He is jubilant as a flag unfurled. Oh, a girl, she'll not forget him. My own dear love, he is all my world, and I wish I'd never met him. My love, he's mad, and my love, he's fleet, and a wild young wood thing bore him. The ways are fair to his roaming feet, and the skies are sunlit for him. As sharply sweet to my heart he seems as the fragrance of acacia. My own dear love, he is all my dreams, and I wish he were in Asia. My love runs by like a day in June, and he makes no friends of sorrows. He'll tread his galloping rigadoon in the pathway of the morrows. He'll live his days where the sunbeams start, nor could storm or wind uproot him. My own dear love, he is all my heart, and I wish somebody'd shoot him. Actors, a hate song. I hate actors. They ruin my evenings. There are the juveniles, the male ingenues. They always interpret the roles of wealthy young sportsmen so that they can come running on in white flannels, carrying tennis rackets and wearing spiked shoes. Whenever the lights go up, they are discovered with their arms around some girl. They wear their watches and handkerchiefs on their arms. They think that the three greatest names in American history are Hart, Schoffner, and Marx. They are constantly giving interviews to the Sunday papers, complaining about the carloads of mash notes they receive. They know they have it in them to do something really big. They relate how Belasco told them that they would go far. I wish they were on their way. There are the movie heroes, the boys who drove the Wild West wild. They are forever fading out into the sunset, and if they can't pose for a close-up every few feet, they sue the company. They wear their hair bobbed and always look as if they were dressed by mail. They were never known to lose a fight. The whole troop of supernumeraries hasn't a chance against them. They are just bubbling over with animal spirits. They are continually walking up the side of houses or springing from one galloping horse to another, or leaping out of balloons without parachutes. And they love to be photographed balancing on one foot on the extreme edge of the Grand Canyon. Oh, that I might get behind them just once. And then there are the tragedians, the ones who made Shakespeare famous. They are always telling what they used to say to Booth, and they talk about the old traditions as if they had collaborated on them. They make their positively last appearance semi-annually, and they are just about to go on farewell tour number 2, 8,397, Series H. They never appear in any role in which they have to wear long trousers. If they stoop to play in any drama written after 1700, they know that art could never be the same. They are forever striding around the stage in trick tempests, wearing aluminum armor and waving property swords, and shrieking at heaven to do its worst. I wish heaven would kindly oblige. And there are the drawing room stars, the ones that swing a mean teacup. They always appear in those dramas in which the big line is, "No cream, please, lemon." They interpret every emotion by tapping the left thumbnail with the cork-tipped cigarette. They are invariably the best-dressed men on stage. Their press agent says so himself. They are always standing in the center of the stage, saying cutting things about marriage. And they hang around in the property moonlight, making middle-aged love. They cherish secret ambitions to take off their cutaways and play Hamlet. They know they could be great if the public would only give them their just due. If only it would. I hate actors. They ruin my evenings.
Indian summer. In youth, it was a way I had to do my best to please and change with every passing lad to suit his theories. But now I know the things I know and do the things I do. And if you do not like me so, to hell, my love, with you. Men. They hail you as their morning star because you are the way you are. If you return the sentiment, they'll try to make you different. And once they have you safe and sound, they want to change you all around. Your moods and ways they put a curse on. They'd make of you another person. They cannot let you go your gait. They influence and educate. They'd alter all that they admired. They make me sick. They make me tired. A certain lady. Oh, I can smile for you and tilt my head and drink your rushing words with eager lips and paint my mouth for you a fragrant red and trace your brows with tutored fingertips when you rehearse your list of loves to me. Oh, I can laugh and marvel, rapturous-eyed, and you laugh back. Nor can you ever see the 1,000 little deaths my heart has died. And you believe so well I know my part, that I am gay as morning, light as snow, and all the straining things within my heart you'll never know. Oh, I can laugh and listen when we meet, and you bring fresh adventurings of ladies delicately indiscreet, of lingering hands and gently whispered things. And you are pleased with me and strive anew to sing me sagas of your late delights. Thus do you want me, marveling, gay, and true. Nor do you see my staring eyes of night. And when in search of novelty you stray, oh, I can kiss you blithely as you go. And what goes on, my love, while you're away, you'll never know. Symptom recital. I do not like my state of mind. I'm bitter, querulous, unkind. I hate my legs. I hate my hands. I do not yearn for lovelier lands. I dread the dawn's recurrent light. I hate to go to bed at night. I snoot at simple, earnest folk. I cannot take the gentlest joke. I find no peace in paint or type. My world is but a lot of tripe. I'm disillusioned, empty-breasted. For what I think, I'd be arrested. I am not sick. I am not well. My quondam dreams are shot to hell. My soul is crushed. My spirit sore. I do not like me anymore. I cavil, quarrel, grumble, grouse. I ponder on the narrow house. I shudder at the thought of men. I'm due to fall in love again. Song in a minor key. There's a place I know where the birds swing low and wayward vines go roaming, where the lilacs nod and a marble god is pale in scented gloaming. And at sunset there comes a lady fair, whose eyes are deep with yearning. By an old, old gate does the lady wait, her own true love's returning. But the days go by, and the lilacs die, and trembling birds seek cover. Yet the lady stands with her long white hands held out to greet her lover. And it's there she'll stay till the shadowy day, a monument they grave her. She will always wait by the same old gate, the gate her true love gave her. The homebody. There still are kindly things for me to know, who am afraid to dream, afraid to feel. This little chair of scrubbed and sturdy deal, this easy book, this fire, sedate and slow, and I shall stay with them, nor cry the woe of wounds across my breast that do not heal, nor wish that beauty drew a duller steel, since I am sworn to meet her as a foe. It may be, when the devil's own time is done, that I shall hear the dripping of the rain at midnight and lie quiet in my bed, or stretch and straighten to the yellow sun, or face the turning tree and have no pain. So shall I learn at last. My heart is dead. Women. I hate song. I hate women. They get on my nerves. There are the domestic ones. They are the worst. Every moment is packed with happiness. They breathe deeply and walk with large strides, eternally hurrying home to see about dinner. They are the kind who say with a tender smile, money's not everything. They are always confronting me with dresses, saying, I made this myself. They read woman's pages and try out the recipes. Oh, how I hate that kind of woman. Then there are the human sensitive plants, the bundles of nerves. They are different from everybody else. They even tell you so. Someone is always stepping on their feelings. Everything hurts them deeply. Their eyes are forever filling with tears. They always want to talk to me about the real things, the things that matter. Yes, they know they could write. Conventions stifle them. They are always longing to get away from it all. I wish to heaven they would. And then there are those who are always in trouble, always. Usually they have husband trouble. They are the worst. They are wronged. They are the women whom nobody understands. They wear faint, wistful smiles, and when spoken to, they start. They begin by saying they must suffer in silence. No one will ever know. And then they go into details. Then there are the well-informed ones. They are pests. They know everything on earth and will tell you about it gladly. They feel it, their mission to correct wrong impressions. They know dates and middle names. They absolutely ooze current events. Oh, how they bore me. There are the ones who simply cannot fathom why all the men are mad about them. They say they've tried and tried. They tell you about someone's husband, what he said, and how he looked when he said it. And then they sigh and ask, "Oh, my dear, what is there about me?" Don't you hate them? There are the unfailingly cheerful ones. They are usually unmarried. They are always busy making little gifts and planning little surprises. They tell me to be like them, always looking on the bright side. They ask me what they would do without their sense of humor. I sometimes yearn to kill them. Any jury would acquit me. I hate women. They get on my nerves.
Distance. Were you to cross the world, my dear, to work or love or fight, I would be calm and wistful here and close my eyes at night. It were a sweet and gallant pain to be a sea apart. But oh, to have you down the lane is bitter to my heart. The little old lady in lavender silk. I was 77 come August. I shall shortly be losing my bloom. I've experienced zephyr and raw gust and symbolical flood and simoon. When you come to this time of abatement, to this passing from summer to fall, it is manners to issue a statement as to what you got out of it all. So I'll say, though reflection unnerves me, and pronouncements I dodge as I can, that I think, if my memory serves me, there's nothing as fun as a man. In my youth, when the crescent was too wan to embarrass with beams from above, by the aid of some local Don Juan, I fell into the habit of love. And I learned how to kiss and be merry, an education left better unsung. My neglect of the waters Perinian was a scandal when Grandma was young. Though the shabby unbalanced the splendid, and the bitter outmeasured the sweet, I should certainly do as I then did, were I given the chance to repeat. For contrition is hollow and wrathful, and regret is no part of my plan. And I think, if my memory's faithful, oh, there was nothing as fun as a man. Sonnet on an Alpine Night. My hand, a little raised, might press a star. Where I may look, the frosted peaks are spun, so shaped before Olympus was begun. Spanned each to each now by a silver bar. Thus, to face beauty, I have traveled far. But now, as if around my heart were run hard lacing fingers, so I stand undone. Of all my tears, the bitterest these are. who humbly followed beauty all her ways, begging the brambles that her robe had passed, crying her name in corridors of stone. That day shall know its weariest of days, when beauty, still and suppliant at last, does not suffice him once they are alone. Bohemians, a hate song. I hate bohemians. They shatter my morale. There are the artists, the inventors of the nude. They are always gesticulating with their thumbs and sketching with forks on tablecloths. They point out all the different colors in a sunset as if they were trying to sell it to you. They are forever messing around with batik and hanging yellow tassels on things and stenciling everything within reach. I do hope that Gibson never learns what they think of him. It would simply break his heart. Of course, they know that being hung in the academy is a matter of pull. They say that James Montgomery Flagg may stoop to mere success, but as for them, let them starve first. Fair enough. There are the writers, the press agents for sex. They are forever exposing their inmost souls. Their stuff is always beautifully frank. Why, they just as soon tell you their favorite flower. They find their fullest expression in free verse. They call it that because they have to give it away. They are extremely well read. They can quote from their own works for hours without a mistake. They are always pulling manuscripts out of their pockets and asking you to tell them honestly, is it too daring? They would sit down and write the great American novel if they only could find a publisher big enough. Oh, well, genius is an infinite capacity for giving pains. There are the actors. They always refer to themselves as players. Whenever 2 or 3 of them are gathered together, another little theater comes into the world. They are eternally leasing vacant kitchenettes and presenting their own dramas with Woolworth scenery. Of course, there can be no real drama above 14th Street. If they've even walked across Times Square, they'd feel that they had lost their amateur standing. They ask you, what do you think of their technique? And then they wait for you to commit perjury. They thank God that they never descended to commercialism, and they know that they'll never be appreciated. They don't know the half of it. And then, there are the radicals, the table d'hôte Bolshevik. They are always in revolt about something. Nothing has been done yet that they can wholly approve of. Their existence is just like heaven. There is neither marrying nor giving in marriage. They are forever starting magazines and letting the postal authorities put the finish to them. Their one ambition is to get themselves arrested so that they can come out and be heroes. They are always stifled, always longing to loose the trivial fetters of convention and go far away, back to the real. I wish they'd get started. I hate bohemians. They shatter my morale. Hymn of hate. Bores. I hate bores. They take the joy out of my life. There are the symptom collectors. They have tried every specialist once. They go about quoting what they said under ether. They give readings from their fever charts, and they carry their cast-off appendixes with them in bottles, just for old time's sake. They are forever showing you X-ray photographs of their quaint crannies and intimate ingle nooks. They say that you can never guess what they suffer, and then they clear up all doubts. Every doctor tells them that their case is hopeless, and I'll say it is. Then there are the parlor comedians. They have memorized the entire series of history's favorite anecdotes. They begin by saying that they just heard a new one, which is the funniest line in the whole story. They go in strongly for the kind of humor that requires special apparatus. They will go miles to procure an exploding cigar or a perforated drinking glass. They have a repertoire of surefire comedy hits, and they address old waiters as George. And they love to call you on the telephone and say, "This is police headquarters speaking." They save up all their witticisms for you and tell you how everyone nearly dies at them. Nearly dies is right. There are the gluttons for business. They started on a shoestring. They worked their way up to white spats. They are entirely self-made and think that everybody is clamoring for the recipe. Their life is an open ledger. They tell you all the inside gossip about invoices and bills of lading and illustrate their talk with diagrams, showing their increased output throughout the Middle West. They relate heartrending stories of how they haven't had a vacation in 10 years and how they wish that they could go away for a while. And I wish that they could go away from now on. Oh, yeah. And then there are the amateur mediums. They are always fooling around with spirits. They are constantly receiving messages from the great beyond, saying, "Uncle Walter is well. Hopes everybody at home is the same." They spend every night being warned in dreams of their friends' deaths. There is nothing that they can't worm out of a Ouija board. They are so messy around the house. They are always tipping tables, sitting around in circles with the lights out. They are forever seeing things and hearing knocks. And they just know that they have clairvoyant minds, if any. I hate bores. They take all the joy out of my life.
Perdue. I never may turn the loop of a road where sudden ahead the sea is lying, but my heart drags down with its ancient load, my heart that a second before was flying. I never behold the quivering rain, and sweeter the rain than a lover to me, but my heart is wild in my breast with pain, my heart that was tapping contentedly. There's never a rose spreads new at my door, nor a strange bird crosses the moon at night. But I know I have known its beauty before, and a terrible sorrow along with the sight. The look of a laurel tree birthed for May, or a sycamore bared for a new November, is as old and as sad as my furthest day. What is it? What is it? I almost remember. The drama. I hate the drama. It cuts into my sleep. There is the clean play, the one you take Aunt Etta to see. After a day's sightseeing in the financial district, the hero is the man from back home with a blameless life and the creaseless trousers, a real rough rhinestone. He may not be so strong on grammar, but he loves children and sleeping outdoors. The heroine sneers at him in Act 1, but after he has shown up the effete aristocracy and received news that they've struck oil back in the little marigold well, she listens to reason, and when the curtain falls at 11 o'clock, they are starting out for the great clean West together, 3 hours too late. Then there's the comedy of manners. The manners provide most of the comedy. It is all about the goings-on in titled circles. How Her Grace's handkerchief was found in Sir Arthur's digs. Tea flows like water. Butlers are everywhere. And there's practically no stint to the epigrams about there being two kinds of husbands, your own and the kind that is in love with you. Everybody stands about gesticulating with cucumber sandwiches and saying, "Oh, Lord Cyril, what a cynic you are." There's always a little country ingenue who tearfully goes back home in the last act, declaring that those society people are all rotten. She said it. There is the furthest north performance of the play that makes you think you should have gone to the movies. It is translated from the Norwegian. They might as well give it in the original. All the lighting is dim, so that the actors' faces can scarcely be seen. The heroine is invariably misunderstood, probably because of her accent. She's a regular little glad girl, always falling in love with an innocent bystander, or finding that she's married her uncle by mistake, or going out into the night and slamming the door. And things come to a rousing climax in a nice, restful suicide or a promising case of insanity. You tell them, Milson, you've got the Scandinavian rights. And there's the allegorical drama. It comes as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. The critics can always find subtle shades of meaning in it. The triumph of mind over Maeterlinck. The actors play the parts of light, joy, beauty, and imagination, while the audience represent ennui and bewilderment. The leading character is searching for happiness, and after hunting through 4 acts, 27 scenes, and a company of 300, exclusive of stagehands, he finally discovers it at home. Would to heaven he had looked there in the first place. I hate the drama that cuts into my sleep. I hate parties. There's the novelty affair, given by the woman who's awfully clever at that sort of thing. Everybody must come in fancy dress. There are always 7 old-fashioned girls and 14 Hawaiian gentlemen wearing the native costume of last season's tennis clothes and a wreath around the neck. The hostess introduces a series of clean home games. Each participant is given a fair chance to guess the number of seeds in a cucumber, or thread a needle against time, or see how many names of wildflowers he knows. Ice cream in trick formations and punch like Volstead used to make. Buoy up the players after the mental strain. You have to tell the hostess that it's a riot, and she says she'll just die if you don't come to her next party. If only a guarantee went with that. Then there's the Bridge Festival. The winner is awarded an arms and crafts hearth brush, and all the rest get garlands of hothouse raspberries. You cut for partners and draw the man who wrote the game. He won't let bygones be bygones. And after each hand, he starts getting personal about your motives in leading clubs. And one word frequently leads to another. At the next table, you have one of those partners who says it is nothing but a game after all. He trumps your ace and tries to laugh it off. and yet they shoot men like Elwell. There is the day in the country. It seems more like a week. All the contestants are wedged into automobiles, and you are allotted the space between two ladies who close in on you. The party gets a nice early start because everybody wants to make a long day of it. They get their wish. Everyone contributes a basket of lunch. Each person has it all figured out that no one else will think of bringing hard-boiled eggs. There's the intensive picking of dogwood, and no one is quite sure what poison ivy is like. They found out by the next day. Things start off with a rush. Everybody joins in the old songs and points out cloud effects and puts in a good word for the color of grass. But after the first 50 miles, nature doesn't go over so big, and singing belongs to the lost arts. There's a slight spurt on the home stretch, and everyone exclaims how beautiful the lights of the city look. I'll say they do. And there's the informal little dinner party, the lowest form of taking nourishment. The man on your left draws diagrams with a fork, illustrating the way he's going to have the new sun parlor built on. And the one on your right explains how soon business conditions will be better and why. When the more material part of the evening is over, you have your choice of listening to the Harry Lauder songs or having the hostess hem you in and show you the snapshots of the baby they took last summer. Just before you break away, you mutter something to the host and hostess about sometime soon you must have them over your dead body. I hate parties. They bring out the worst in me. Robin, he is strong and sure, gallant, wise, and gay. Gavin's heart is calm and pure as the newborn day. Steady shine young Alan's eyes, deep with honesty. Jack, he tells me naught but lies. He's the lad for me. Richard vows no other maid did he love before. Will, his heart beating, he laid at my cottage door. Peter tells me, none but you am I thinking of. Jack, he's wondrously untrue. He's my own dear love. Casper's hair is golden brown. Hal is straight and slim. Martin's richest in the town. Who'd say no to him? Rafe's a fine young gentleman. Tom's with virtue blessed. Jack, he broke my heart and ran. I love him the best. Oh, come, my love, and join with me, the oldest infant industry. Come seek the bourne of palm and pearl, the lovely land of boy meets girl. Come grace this lotus-laden shore, this isle of dew, what's done before. Come curb the new and watch the old win, out where the streets are paved with gold win. Here let me guide your sedulous pen to trace the proven lines again. Here ply your quill in glory dipped, and see what happens to your script. Hear how your phrases, metered, guarded, with actors' jokes are interlarded. Oh, come, my love, nor fret the while, the mighty disregard your smile. For Cohen's in this haughty burg, bow to God, no God, who's cut by Thalberg. Oh, cast your scruples to the winds, and join us Pegasus behinds. Come learn along with me, my sweet, how charming thrice a day to eat. How good to bend the stubborn neck and hail the rhythmic weekly check. And when, my love, you have been here a little less than half a year, you start to talk who once were dumb of what a wondrous medium and why they haven't scratched the surface while aggrieved Mnemosyne hides her face. And here's the writer's noblest part. That day, my perjured love, we part.
Thank you, Susan, Corinne, Kay, Helen. We have a few minutes left. I know we got started late, as you all know. Why don't we just start with Corinne and then Helen and Kay and then Susan, and just say a few things about the poetry and about the reading, if you would like. Corinne?
Well, it certainly is a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, she's extremely humorous, and you expect that. It is kind of surprising sometimes when you read on that she's really can get quite serious and has a bit of a bitter streak, but it's always with that little edge, a little comedic edge, so it doesn't hit too hard.
Helen?
When I was a young actress in New York, I would go by the Algonquin Hotel on West 23rd Street on my way to the subway, and I would always picture Dorothy Parker's in there and that round table with all of her wonderful writer friends, and that happened almost every day because that's what my route to the subway. And now here I am, reading her wonderful, wonderful poetry. It's like an actor's dream. It's like a reading of monologues written to be acted. They're just beautiful, and I'm honored to be able to read the poetry of Dorothy Parker.
Oh, my God. I can't beat that. I can't beat what Helen just said. And I agree with every word that everybody said. I just love her also. I love the humor that she gets when just a couple of lines. And it's delicious writing. That's it for me.
Susan?
Well, she was born in the 19th century, and it's incredible how well this poetry holds up and how insightful she was. I loved it.
Yeah, she once said that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Susan. Go ahead.
What didn't you hear, Harry? All of it?
She was insightful.
She was insightful, and the poetry still holds up today.
Well, you know, a couple of lines that Kay read that I loved. She said in the Bohemians poem, she said, they find their fullest expression in free verse. They call it that because they have to give it away.
Right. So she was cynical also.
And, you know, one thing, you know, she once said that she starts with 5 words and deletes 7. You know, she really had a sharp ear, and she always chose the right word. And you all just did such a wonderful reading. And, you know, for me, I hadn't read her for many years, and I found out that the poems really touch you. I know they seem, they are delightful, and sometimes they seem somewhat superficial, but they're not. They're very deep. You know, when she's writing about love and loss and men and women and on and on. I mean, she just really knows how to express what's deep inside her. And, you know, her mother died when she was 4 or 5, and her father, you know, one of the Rothschilds. And then she had a few older people. One of her older family members, one of her sisters, 9 years older, was like a mother to her. And, you know, her father always encouraged her. And she never finished high school. She left and she read a lot. You know, she read Charles Dickens and Thackeray. I mean, Becky Sharp, she would read that a dozen times a year. And she was kind of like Becky Sharp. And, you know, you women just understood her so perfectly. And it really is, as Helen said, an actor's delight and dream to read these. And all of you have so much experience in movies and TV and show business, and you have so much knowledge. So we all understand all that she was saying. And so thank you very much. This has really been a wonderful, one-of-a-kind reading. You're all just magnificent readers. So thank you once again, Corinne Conley, Helen Richman, and thank you, Helen, for returning. And thank you, Kay Weissman. You were on a roll there with those hate songs. And thank you, Susan Nathe, for coming on the show.
Thank
you're
you.
Delightful.